Hello, my name is Michael Pelaez, and I'm here with,
Josiah Otley and Janai Otley.
and we're here to talk about more things that we learned in our sixth period American history class. Today's topic: after effects of World War I.
I heard the USA started to withdraw from world affairs after the war. How does that happen when you are one of the biggest and most connected countries in the world? How does that even happen to one?
So basically, the United States became more withdrawn from world affairs after World War I because they just fought somebody else's war, and the citizens weren't very happy about this. Neither was the government, because honestly, it did not have much to do with us. And they were also mad because Britain, France, and all these allied powers owed us money, but we didn't want to push them to give it to us because they're still recovering from this war.
And after we started to focus on our own problems, that's when we realized that there was still a lot of work we still needed to do. I think I remember one of these issues we had dealt with after the war was the event called the Red Scare. This was the idea of that communism and how it spread throughout the country and causing conflict left and right for the U.S.
Yeah, I remember that too. The Red Scare was an event where communism started to gain traction in America because Russia's influence spread to the United States and convinced some people that communism was a good idea. But immediately, people didn't just not like the idea of communism, they hated it because it's the exact opposite of our beliefs as a country, which we believe in capitalism. And people started to become very scared that others started believing in this idea and started to just hate everything different, started to become very fearful.
Yeah, and during this time, people started to be afraid of everything new that didn't fit the status quo. People who thought and did things differently started to face prejudice. Some people who faced prejudice during this time were African Americans, immigrants, people who had unpopular political beliefs, and women who tried to be independent. Michael, don't you remember when Mr. Delgado told us the story of those Italian friends who were falsely accused of murder and robbery just because they were anarchists? Even though they may sound bad, they follow the law just because they believed in something doesn't mean that the government should exploit them.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. They might have believed that they didn't need the government, but they didn't actually commit any crimes, or that's how the story goes, at least. But another incident that I didn't really understand was that unions started to be looked at as a bad thing because apparently they promoted communist beliefs. I don't really understand this because not even 10 years, 15 years before that war, unions were needed because companies kept taking advantage of their workers, and without unions, workers couldn't get the benefits that they needed. I just don't understand how unions became a bad thing.
Yeah, unions were looked down upon because they were thought to promote communism. I can't say for sure that these unions did promote communism, but I remember hearing that leaders of the unions tried to push their own agendas to promote communism.
If I'm being honest, when I first heard that unions were looked down upon for the belief of communism, I just thought it was a ruse to make or to allow companies to treat their workers however they wanted and get the wages and not have to pay them what they did deserve. But I understand your point, and I get that they do have a communistic idea, and it's for everybody and not just for one person. So I get it. It doesn't seem right.
You guys want to know something really messed up about this time period? It's when everyone started to be afraid of all the different and new ideas. Things like the KKK tried to advance all of that. And the KKK, they started to promote superiority over immigrants, communism, and anarchists, as well as African Americans, so they could gain more support from others who feared others who were different and unlike them.
Yeah, so the KKK took advantage of all of these people's fears. And like Josiah said, they try to gain support from all these different civilians, but over time they ended up losing the support because people started to realize how violent they were and didn't understand that they were this brutal. So they ended up losing the support that they got. But other than that, that's really all we have to talk about regarding the after effects of World War I. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.